Two men journey to the bars and restaurants of Scandinavia to find amazing beers, always with the same question.
Hey, what's on tap?
It's time to find out.
Welcome to What's on Tap podcast. It is February, I guess. I don't know. Maybe it's March. We're recording this. I'm pulling back the curtain. We're recording this in February.
This particular episode, we don't know
when it'll come out.
Yeah. I mean, we do episodes that we want to come out right away.
Yeah, but this will probably be March, I would guess.
And then 1 or 2 episodes, we did kind of, let's push it a little bit further.
Yeah, so how you doing, man? Life treating you well?
Doing pretty good.
Excellent.
Yeah. You?
I'm doing really well. I got
Really
beer.
well?
I got my...
That is the way to do really well.
My podcast buddy here are all set to go to
yeah.
deliver some review knowledge and excellence into your ear holes.
Extra bonus for you is I brought both of the beers today.
You did. I'm super excited about this because you brought one of, I don't know if it's my favorite style, but it's always one I go for because it's one of the most intriguing beer styles out there. It's called a Lichtenheiner. It's an imperial Lichtenhainer coming in at 6.5%. I guess they're normally around 4. Yeah. This is from Alvinne and Cerveza Granizo, and it is called Fumo Van Chile.
Which I thought originally that it contained some chili, thinking, it can't be Lichtenheiner if it's a chili beer. But I think it's actually it's the country of Chile.
Could be. It could be that the brewery is Chilean. But it contains water, malt, hop, yeast, smoked pepper, salt, and
Granizo,
and coriander seed.
Granizo, I think, is a Chilean microbrewery.
Yeah.
Valparaiso. Where is Valparaiso? I think you're supposed to know that.
Sure. I could know that. I don't know that.
It's a Chilean city.
Yeah. So what makes the Lichtenhainer such an interesting style is they smoke the malts, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah, and so the beer itself is a sour beer, but made with smoked malts. So it creates this weird combination of smoked beer and kind of like a smoked Berliner Weiss is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, and then this one has salt in it as well, which puts it on the same page as a gose, not a gose, but the German gose style.
Yeah.
So it's a really weird style, and we haven't seen that many of them.
Although we have seen, now we've reviewed a couple of them on the shows before.
Yeah, because they're so special.
Yeah, it is a style that I think it might be the most reviewed off style that we've had. We may have reviewed more Lichtenheiners than red ales at this point.
I'm glad if that's the case.
And maybe more than brown ales, which are fairly commonplace, so it's kind of interesting.
The bar manager at Malmo Tap Room, Kenny, he loves Lichtenheiner, so he keeps trying to, and sometimes succeeding in convincing Swedish brewers to make Lichtenheiners.
Yeah.
So now it was Svartberget, they made a Lichtenheiner for him. Mm-hmm. Danish brewery Brygg, they made one. Mm-hmm. And I think, so right now there is a brewery at Lichtenheiner on tap there. I think he managed to convince them as well.
I can see them taking up the
challenge.
The challenge. But the, what was the first brewery you mentioned?
Svartberget.
Didn't we review their Once Upon a Lichtenheiner on the show?
You're right. Yeah. I'm mixing them. It wasn't Svartberget who made a Lichtenheiner for him. They made that one.
Yeah, they made that one. Yeah. But the other one, Brygg, was definitely made for him.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's some other brewery that made a...
Yeah, there was another one, but I don't remember what it was.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah. But anyway, so what do you think of the nose on this one?
It actually smells very yeasty. This is a Belgian brewery.
It does smell like a Belgian ale.
And their house flavor or their house yeast kind of always tastes like this if it isn't like a super sour fruit beer.
Yeah, I think it smells really nice.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
Cheers.
But it does smell kind of like a Belgian double, I guess.
Yeah, or Belgian blonde or yeasty.
Belgian blonde. And it tastes kind of like a Belgian blonde. Mm-hmm. With not a smoked malt flavor, but a cracked black pepper flavor.
I think it says smoked peppers.
Yeah, it does say smoked black pepper. So you definitely get that black pepper taste coming through, but it doesn't... Like sometimes you get, when they have black pepper in beers, it tastes kind of overwhelms the beer and tastes a little maybe too spicy. But this has just like a hint of pepper.
Yeah.
Just a...
On the side, it says Flemish sour ale, which would lead us to believe that it is a Flemish style sour.
Yeah,
that's not the case.
That's not that. No, this is...
I think it's just from the Flemish area because the brewery is physically located there. Like not all beers from Belgium are Belgian style.
Exactly. This was interesting because I wouldn't consider this a Lichtenheiner. It doesn't have that smokiness to it.
Yeah.
It does taste like a Belgian blonde with somebody cracked a little pepper over the top.
Yeah. From a Lichtenheiner perspective, this is a complete disappointment. But the beer is pleasant enough.
See, from a Belgian blonde perspective, pretty successful.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. From a sour ale perspective, again, total failure.
It really isn't sour at all.
There's no sourness to this beer in any way whatsoever. But I think it's very, very tasty. So anything else you want to add on this one? I think we kind of
3.75 for me.
I'm going to give it a 3.5,
Yeah.
simply because it just fails on the basic core concept, but it's still pretty damn drinkable.
Yeah, but I've started to give Lichtenheiners higher and higher ratings the more I drink them. So if this had succeeded, it would have been a 4 or more even.
Oh, easily. I think it would have been if it had just been slightly smoked, I would have given this a much higher grade. But because it's missing on one of the core concepts that makes the beer so unique, I kind of knock it for that.
Exactly. But I don't regret bringing it to the show because it had such potential. It just didn't live up to that potential.
No, unfortunately. All right. So up next we have the Bruery Spritz This, part of the Terroir Project. I think it's their first entry into sparkling ciders.
I think so.
It doesn't say sparkling ciders, but it just says a barrel-aged sparkling ale with Syrah's grapes. And on the back, Spritz This is a spritzy, sparkling blonde ale aged in oak barrels with locally sourced Syrahs from the Temecula region. Sometimes the words are really hard to read because the print is so fine. Crisp, you know what it is? It's effervescent.
Oh, that's a bingo.
Easily enjoyable. It's a collaboration with Firestone Walker.
Ah, cool. I didn't know that.
They don't really make it known on the can. If you didn't read the fine print, you would not get there.
I almost stopped you when you said blonde ale. There's nothing blonde about this.
No, they definitely, Syrah's grapes have really colored this pretty dark.
Yeah.
And it smells like wine. It smells very vinous.
It does. Yeah. It smells like black currants, really.
Yeah. The Syrah's is very prominent on the nose. It smells good, though.
Let's try it. Cheers.
Oh my God, that is tasty as hell.
It's a long way from... It is a long way from beer.
Yeah. This falls into that. It almost, if you had told me that this was a Evil Twin New York beer,
right,
I would totally believe you, because a lot of the brewery terroir projects and their sour ales tend to be just like curb stomp you so aggressively bitter, but sour sometimes, that they're just almost, for me, almost a little unpleasant. But this is pretty well balanced, and the carbonation is just spot on. It's really nice.
There's something about the acidity that rubs me the wrong way. I'm trying to put it into words, but at the back of my throat, I love sour beers and sour things, but this acidity almost gives a burning feeling at the back of my throat.
Interesting, because I don't feel that at all.
Like an abrasive.
Yeah, and I know what you mean. Like almost like a kind of a pure citric acid kind of flavor. Yeah, I don't. For me, it's just really mild, kind of dry, like how red wine usually kind of is pretty dry. But I don't get strong acidy flavors.
It's a pretty fun thing, but
yeah,
it's not my favorite beverage.
Well, this is my favorite beverage.
It's your favorite beverage
of all time. This is going to be. I can only drink this from now on.
Wow, we found it. The show is over.
Yep. All right, at 9 minutes and 45 seconds, we're done.
I mean the entire podcast.
No. I mean, we're never gonna do another episode after this.
We're never going over top. Bruery Spritz.
And then we'll like skip 3 weeks and like, and then.
But I mean, it's not very easy to drink. You need to sip it because the acidity is quite ferocious.
It's like sipping a glass of wine.
But I mean, a spritzer, the drink. What is a spritzer really? It's like mineral water and wine.
Yeah, kind of.
Basically, those are supposed to be welcome drinks that you can drink very easily.
Which is so funny because I can drink this really easily. I could just pound this can and not think twice. It is so very drinkable for me.
It's weird that we have such a different experience from this.
Because I think this is just a real banger, a real sipper there. I could have 2 or 3 cans of this and be pretty happy with it. And it's only 7.2% ABV, so it's not a lot.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I think this is also a 375 for me.
I'm gonna hit it with a big 425.
Wow.
Yeah, because like I said, the brewery Terroir Project beers have usually been a little too aggressive for me. I think this is just really well balanced and quite enjoyable.
You're just relieved that they aren't as.
I don't take 2 sips and go, oh, I regret all my life choices. But no, these are 2 fun beers. I think both very enjoyable and winners each.
Nice, but the Lichtenheiner should have tasted like a Lichtenheiner.
Maybe it was the imperial factor killed the.
You think so?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think it had anything to do with anything.
But moving back to that beer, I really love the fact that they put imperial on a 6.5% beer, because yes, within the style, this goes without outside of the borders. I think on the listener bingo card, I think there's one spot for us talking about the double IPA limits. Where does it go? That's bingo. This one, yes, I completely agree that 6.5% Lichtenhainer is an imperial one.
100%.
Yes, there are no session Lichtenhainers.
The beer in of itself would just be the session beer. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, well, we'll wrap it up here. You can find us online at what'sontappodcast.com, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, YouTube, and just anywhere in the world.
Just randomly.
Just randomly walk into people on the street and ask them about it, and they'll tell you all about What's on Tap podcast.
And people will say, but how did the podcast get here? This is a temperate zone. Maybe pigeons carried it. Right?
Exactly. They're like
swallows.
They're like, what are we doing in the synagogue listening to a beer review podcast?
Exactly.
And like, we're everywhere.
Yeah.
All right. So until next time.
Keep drinking, you dum-dums.